Welcome to a new episode of These Go to 11. Let's turn it up. Hey everybody, welcome back to These Go to 11, an unchurchy conversation about everyday faith. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and review on your favorite podcast platform. This not only helps us to get our content out there, but also helps us to find out what you, our faithful listeners, think. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to These Go to 11. Once again, I'm Nathan Bell. Joining me as always, Greg Dutcher. Greg, what's going on, my friend?
Not much, my friend. I'm still holding on for the almost full month of summer we got left. Woo woo!
That's right. That's right. Hang
I believe this drops August 4th.
August 4th, yep.
Let's just keep rocking, dude.
That's right.
I don't want to
Keep
start
going.
thinking about it until afterwards.
There's no reason to, really.
No.
Right?
We got summer left.
That's
my
right.
friend.
That's right.
It's early August.
That's right.
And a new theme, a new topic.
Yeah. And really, like, you've got two of your boys going away. Is it next week?
Yeah,
this
next week, dude. Really for both. Ben is not really going away,
Right.
but he's entering a new chapter. He'll be at law school at the University of Maryland. We're so excited for him. He's worked so hard to get in there. It's a good school. He'll have the advantage of living at home.
Yep.
We've kind of urged him to take advantage. I said, Ben, you cannot beat the price.
Right.
And then Isaac, we're a little heartsick about that. We're excited for him. He's not going to be far. He's 90 minutes away.
Yep.
So far enough to kind of have his own experience, close enough that we can run up there where we need to.
There
He's
you
going to
go.
be at Albright College in Reading, PA.
Yep.
Literally, it's almost just literally an hour and a half drive from here, dude.
Nice.
Most of it's an easy, relaxing drive.
Yep.
To the last, few minutes, you navigate a little bit of a highway action there outside of Reading. And yeah, he's got to get there early because basically for him it's football training camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice thing is the roommate situation is solved. He's rooming with another teammate, as most of them do, and we're hoping he'll. That is the one advantage when you go early with the sport. I'm told.
Yep.
Is you make your social connections.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of so by the time classes roll around, you know some people and
Yep.
study groups and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're Sam is finishing up her final march to get the degree I got last June.
Yeah.
This past June, and at Wilkes, and then Ella junior year. So a little more time till we start worrying about her.
Yeah. Nice. Very cool. But yeah, to your point, we're in a new topic.
And your dude, before we get there, going to be in a new season. We can get more specific in the coming weeks. Maybe we do a look back.
Yeah, I think that'll be good just to check in, see how things are going, because I'm sure, you'll have some new classes that you'll be teaching.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, we'll definitely do that. But yes, I stepped down from Redeemer back at the end of the school year. I was doing a lot of database management stuff. Nothing bad. I love Redeemer. I wish I could still be there, but there's no way that I could. It's one of those things where right now I just hate what I do.
Yeah, not the place, but the role.
Correct.
Sure, been
and
there.
If I were going to continue to stay there, I have a feeling that would start seeping into the place, because then you start becoming bitter and all
Which is
that.
wise, dude. And you are of the age, I'm certainly of the age, where you start learning, those things about yourself.
Yeah.
So I think you can, because there's nothing worse than when a person feels stuck.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, man, I'm so stuck. And I think if you can get unstuck,
Yes.
as our friends at the Unstuck Church podcast would say,
Yep.
Matt's in my ear on that, when you can get unstuck
Yeah.
before the sticking really keeps you in a bad place, by all means. So, yeah, I'm excited for your fall, dude, and your experiences. And, let's do a later September check-in, and we'll compare notes.
That sounds good. We, back in May, not May, June.
Yeah, June. What did we do in May? Oh, May is when we did God Never Said That.
God Never Said That.
Right.
Yep. So back in June, we did our Old Testament summary.
Yep.
And we looked through different pieces of the Old Testament. We took on different themes in the Old Testament. had Dave Shive on to talk to us specifically about David.
Was that the crazy old guy screaming at a cloud?
That was him. Yeah,
Okay,
that was
good,
him.
good. Wait, I'm sorry. Does Dave listen to this?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Right. I'm going to make him listen to just to hear that
Right.
that dig.
That dig.
What'd you think of that, Dave? Yeah. No, honestly, that was great.
It was, yeah.
Because he talked about the life of David. If any of our newer listeners never heard that, obviously we think the whole series we felt good about.
Yeah.
But that episode in particular, I guarantee you, whatever teaching you've been exposed to on King David, the life of David, you're going to get just a unique perspective I bet you've never had.
And I think not that it's just unique and different, but it's I look at it and I think the point of David becomes so much clearer.
I agree.
Right? So much clearer in that light than it does in, oh, David messed up once.
Yep.
Right? If you haven't had a chance to go back and listen to that, but in that series, we introduced the 9 C's.
Yeah.
And so, Greg, I would like you to go ahead and take us back, talk to us about the 9 C's again. And this time, when you get to the New Testament, go ahead and we're going to start looking at the 3 that pull out in the New Testament, and we'll dive into those.
Man, you put me on the spot. Wasn't it cut, color, carrot, clarity? Oh, wait, no, that's engagement
That's
rings.
engagement rings, yeah.
Darn, I knew it was something.
Right.
No, yeah, the 9 C's are just a kind of a mnemonic, hang your thoughts on these categories. It's alliterative, all starts with C, to kind of guide you through the Old and, as we'll see today, New Testament. So you would expect creation. I try to throw the little curveball and say, well, in light of what we learn in all of the Bible, the story starts with God.
Yep.
Before anything is created, there's a story. He's in perfect community.
Yes.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Tim Keller, the eternal dance, as it were, the love, the perfect love and fellowship among the Father, Son, Holy Spirit is not a minor point. It gives rise to creation.
Yes.
Because that's the second C. God wants to create beings that reflect His image, which is the human race. He loves animals, plants, vegetation, waterfalls, the oceans, the rivers, the mountains, the valleys, all of it. He says it's good. But He only stamped His image on us, the Adam and Eve and their descendants, the human race. And He wants image bearers to live in a world He creates, I think ultimately for His Son, but for us to be in fellowship with Him, to live in community. So that's the second C, creation.
Yep.
I'll move a little more quickly now. We get a little glimpse of that, and pretty early on in the story, Genesis 3, crash.
Yeah.
Or often the fall of man.
Yep.
We sin. We are sent out of that paradise. And then you're like, oh, that's it, I guess. Nope. The rest of the story from this point on is God bringing His creatures back. So covenant.
Yeah.
You get the hint of it in the providing of animal skins. Adam and Eve's nakedness is clearly a symbol of their awareness, their shame, their guilt.
Yep.
So the fact that He covers them before He sends them out into the wild required the death of an animal, which is interesting, and to cover their shame, the shedding of blood, the covering of shame, all these building blocks, and then a promise to Abraham, that through him and his offspring, the whole world is going to be blessed.
Yeah.
So that's this promise, this covenant. And then you've got the fulfillment of that, which is a big bulk of the Old Testament, crown, where God crowns the descendants of Abraham with nationhood. The old crown thy good with brotherhood from our America the Beautiful song. That's sort of the formation of Israel. Then the rest of the Old Testament, I would put under that 6C, crisis. There is a crisis, and you largely see it through the corrupt leaders contrasted with the indicting prophets that are saying, you have defied God's purpose for you. You have disobeyed His commands. You have brought Israel into disrepair and ruin. It ends on kind of that bleak note. So again, community, creation, crash, covenant, crown, crisis. That's what we did in It's now August,
Right.
in June, to kind of cover the Old Testament.
Yeah.
So into the New Testament, dude, it's a lot simpler. It's
Yep.
half as many. It's a much shorter book. Christ, church, consummation. When we get to Revelation,
Yep.
I might be pushing it and saying we can add a 10th, which
Yeah.
is not a 10th, but a perfect circle.
Yep.
So maybe let's leave 9.
Yeah.
But what does consummation lead to? Where we were at the beginning.
Yeah.
Community.
Community. Yeah.
We are with him, and then they shall forever be with the Lord.
Yep.
So that's the master kind of story plan of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation.
Yeah.
And I'm excited, dude, to focus in on the New Testament.
Yeah.
27 books as opposed to 39.
Yep.
Significantly shorter in scope and content.
Yeah, so we're actually going to take a similar format to what
Yeah.
we did, with the exception. I mean, really, it is kind of similar, except where we focused in on the life of David.
Yeah.
In one of ours, we're focusing in on the Book of Revelation. In
Yeah,
one of ours.
right.
And so
Yeah, we'll try to do a deeper dive on that one.
yeah,
We'll see how that goes.
right.
Dude, if you need any help, call me. I'll be upstairs in my room asleep.
That's
All
right.
Yeah.
But where we are going to start is kind of this general overview.
Yeah.
And so looking at the first C, right, Christ, let's talk about Christ as the central figure in the New Testament, because really he's the beginning, he's the middle, the end,
Yeah.
right? And even in the Old Testament, we talked about looking at Christ in the Old Testament, and he is all over the Old Testament, although we don't have his name yet.
Yes, exactly. To quote the probably somewhat paraphrased English rhyming version of an Augustine quote, if that's enough caveats, that the new is in the old concealed. The old is in the new revealed.
Yep.
And what is the bridge there that holds the two together? It's Christ.
Yeah.
He ultimately is in the old,
Yep.
more concealed, teased, hinted at. The curtain pulls back just a little bit. We
Yep.
get some really exciting, enthralling. We get some information. We
Yep.
get probably some Christophanies appearances. It's a whole other subject. And the whole hope
Yeah.
is that he's coming. He's the fulfillment, dude, of Genesis 3:15.
Yes.
The enmity between the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman is going to come to its ultimate
Yep.
climactic moment in
Yeah.
the battle, as it were, between Christ and Satan. I believe chiefly done at the cross,
Yes.
where it appears that Jesus is defeated,
Yep.
but he actually crushes Satan
Yeah.
through his work, the resurrection verifying it. So, yeah, I mean, he's everything.
Yep.
Everything. Even when we were in the old,
Yeah.
he was really everything. But
Yeah.
in the new, it's Technicolor in your face,
Yeah.
right there to be seen.
Well, and we see that, right, when we look at the idea of the covenants, right, which is one of our C's in the Old Testament,
Yeah.
right? A covenant is really a promised agreement between two parties, right? It's almost this legal term that you are contractually obligated to fulfill.
Yes.
And what's unique about every single covenant that we have is God fulfills all of the contracts with himself.
Yes.
He makes the agreement with us. We are in the agreement with him.
Yep.
But he is going to fulfill the agreement no matter what we do.
It's grace.
Yeah.
It's all the way then. It's the Old Testament writers called it chesed. I could just say hesed, but I love to spit when I talk.
That's right.
Chesed. Often translated loving kindness.
Yeah.
Which is probably as close as you get to the New Testament term for grace.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we ended on crisis in
Yeah.
the Old Testament, right? And you talked about that idea of, just in peril. And not only in peril, but silent peril.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, 400 years
Yeah.
between, the end of the Old Testament and the beginning of the New Testament.
It's a long time.
And I mean, you think about that, right? That's it. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's roughly the time period that the Israelites, that God started establishing them into Egypt, and
Yes,
then
that's
that
a good
time
point.
that
It was
they
about
had in
400
slavery,
years. That's
right?
actually a great point.
Which was almost again a time of silence for them.
Yeah.
And so we
Yep.
find,
Like generations that were born,
Yeah.
lived, died. born, lived, died.
waiting for God
Yep.
to come and save them. And,
Yep.
and we find the people of God in that same place,
Yep.
right? Crying out, when is God going to save us?
Yeah.
And a lot's happened. And now in comes the light of the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I love, dude, how you said, yeah, let's follow that up from crisis. What's the heart of the Old Testament? I mean, really, the Old Testament ends. The concluding factor is, man, Israel, they didn't do it.
Yeah.
They were the vehicle to bless the world. I mean, the whole notion, as we said, God plants them on this strategic land bridge,
Yep.
linking, Egypt, the whole North African region, really, which was a thriving region at the time, up to the north, the northeast, into the east, which would be Syria, Assyria,
Yep.
all the way over into what would be Medo-Persia, the Babylon Empire, etc. I mean, the known ancient world would, in its travels and commerce, would have gone through this little tiny strip of land,
Yeah.
the nation of Israel, where they should have seen, a nation that rejected idolatry,
Yeah.
no high places.
Yeah.
They worship the one true God,
Yeah.
Yahweh, and there is no other. They would have not worked on Saturdays. They
Yeah.
would have taken a year of Jubilee.
Yeah. Living with their enemies surrounding them, yet not fearing invasion or attack.
Trusting the Lord to be their general, their king, their captain. And, that 39 books tell the painful, long story, much like probably what the story of our life looks like.
Yeah.
Of bad decisions, lack of faith, fear, compromise, sin, self-indulgence. And I think that's its point. And Israel does not do. You're like, wait, I thought the world was going to be blessed through Israel. I guess God was wrong. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about that, dude. I feel like we've talked about this in some other contexts. I'll try not to belabor it, but, I'm just one of 1,000 or more pointer-outers of this truth, probably tens of thousands. And I don't remember where I first read it, but you look at Matthew's gospel, which starts with a genealogy,
Yep.
which is a wonderful kind of linkage back,
Yeah.
showing we're acknowledging the 6 C's, we're acknowledging the story of God in the Old Testament through the nation of Israel. Coming down, it's a Davidic, through King David's lineage, to really, I believe it's to come down, Joseph is in the rightful spot to be the earthly adoptive father of Jesus. Luke does something similar, but I think his is more concerned with Mary, which we don't need to get into now. But you've got the story told in the first book of the New Testament, Matthew, in a way that almost clearly winks to Israel's history.
Yeah.
Because you've got the baby Jesus, who's under threat, and he is taken by his earthly parents to Egypt for safe shelter because a wicked despot, Herod, cannot bear a king being born in his region. So just to be safe, I'll kill all 2-year-olds. And
Right.
vile, just despicable leader, and just absolute, almost the pure embodiment of evil when you see it that strongly. So how does Matthew tell the story? Well, once Herod said he comes out of Egypt. Boy, I've heard somebody coming out of Egypt before. What's the next thing Matthew tells? Literally, he skips 30 years to get there. Jesus goes through the waters in the Jordan River at his baptism. I've heard that before. Out of Egypt, through the waters, the Red Sea. Then Jesus goes into the wilderness. That's funny. I remember, Israel goes into the wilderness.
Yeah.
Oh, well, how long? Well, Jesus, 40 days, 40. Oh, Israel, 40 years.
Yeah.
It's as if Matthew is telling us the story to almost put in neon flashing lights. What Israel could not do,
Right.
Jesus does.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. He's the offspring of Israel.
Yep.
Israel has, in God's amazing grace, it's not, we don't have to give up hope.
Yeah.
All the families of the earth can still be blessed through his prize, Israel's prize offspring, the Lord Jesus, which is why those genealogies paint him as the true Israelite.
Yep.
Right? From the tribe of Judah.
Yep.
Where the lion of the tribe of Judah will roar. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So I think the crisis that the Old Testament ends on, look what we see right away in the first gospel. It's arranged. Remember Israel?
Yep.
Well, look how I'm going to tell the story of, and you could also make the argument, dude, I won't spend much time. He's also a new Adam.
Yes.
Not just a new
and
Israel,
that's
but
what
a
I
new
was
Adam.
going to say, right? Is that we're going to get to Romans where Paul is going to
Yes.
specifically focus on not just Christ being the new Israel, but Christ is going to be the new Adam. So going back to the beginning where our parents, right, our chosen parents should have been able to have conquered sin.
Yes.
Should have been able to have been delivered or should have been able to deliver humanity from sin. They couldn't do it. They
Yep.
didn't do it. And so, but yeah, we'll get to that when we kind of move on and move into Romans. One of the things that I think is just so amazing about this, right, is that there's a new life that is brought into the book of Matthew.
Yes.
Right? You see that the prophets are, I mean, let's be real. The prophets are gloom and doom.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're gloom and doom, it's not that they're inherently gloom and doom. It's because they're gloom and doom because Israel did not heed the warning.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that was what the prophets were doing. They were bringing warnings. If you do not do this, then God is going to come. He's going to be judging you, and they don't do it. And so really you're ending on this note. You kind of see within that 400-year period of silence,
Yeah.
the things that are going to happen to Israel.
Yes.
You get the Maccabees and their stories, and so God is still working and moving, but He's really not actively speaking to them.
Right.
And you now enter into the New Testament, and you start with Matthew, and Matthew just draws us in with, hey, you remember where the story left off? Let me take you back to the beginning, and then let me bring you up to speed on what's happened. Now let's talk about this child.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Let's talk about
It's
this
a great
child.
way to set it up.
And really what we see is kind of a mirroring of what was going on in Genesis as well, right? Where Adam and Eve sin. And what do we have after that? Well, we have genealogy after genealogy after genealogy. And then we hit Noah.
Yep.
And now Noah is the promised deliverer, right? Noah's the one. Oh, wait, no, he's not.
Right. Right.
Right. And so it's almost like Matthew's now taking us into, hey, you remember we've kind of seen this before.
Yep.
You've seen this before in your history. But unlike Noah, now let me tell you about the one.
Dude, absolutely. And how many movies, dude? I know it's in a movie podcast. I promise, audience. Give me 10 seconds, maybe 20, 25. Yeah, dude. Why is that story so prominent? Are you the one? Are you the one? That movies just assume there's been. Yeah, we've heard this. We're waiting, and then there's the one. I mean, that's the whole Matrix series.
Right.
Is this the one? Is this the one that we've been waiting for? Or whether that's specifically said, like a Pocahontas story, or there's just, where's the one
Yeah.
that's going to come? That is so drilled in us. Dude, in sports all the time, are we ever going to get the franchise quarterback?
Yeah.
We thought it was this guy. We thought, it's Lamar. I mean, I'm saying we're
Yeah.
drawn to this. It's human nature.
Yeah.
Because of all these attempts and failures.
Yeah.
Which is really, let's be honest, dude. The Old Testament is a start and stop, start, sputter, stop, start, sputter, stop. It's like a car that never gets, it's like the little engine that can't.
Right.
Right, where they can't do it.
Yeah.
And then, so you could have like a jaded, oh, here we go, yeah, okay.
Right.
Wait, this is different.
Yeah.
I think one of those differences is in the temptation.
Yes. Yeah.
We should know, wow. Unlike Adam, I know we'll probably do some of this with Romans, but very quickly, unlike Adam, who had full belly,
Yeah.
tropical, paradise. That's how I think of it. Just walked with God, the cool of the day. I mean, everything at his fingertips. The help of his wife, the
Yeah.
support, all those blessings. Sin wasn't in style.
Right.
It would have been seen. What are you talking about? Like where today sin's just not. I mean, turn a stone into bread. Yeah, it just makes sense if you're hungry.
Right.
It's so starkly painted. The juxtaposition of those two extremes is so clear.
Yeah.
And if anything, like, oh, he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam couldn't do it. And you walk away, would you look at that?
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
Yeah.
Look what he does. And it's starts filling you with this
Yeah.
sense of anticipation. I think it's a great way to approach the New Testament, dude.
Yeah.
Is that yeah, I know. I mean, Judges, dude. How many
Right.
Judges is exhausting,
Yeah.
right? Hey, things are going great. People start to sin. An enemy nation comes in and beats the crap out of them,
Yeah.
or dominates them. They become the possessors of Israel, and then they cry for help. Oh, new judge, new delivery. Hey, great. They spin downward, cycle downward again. What, 6, 7, 8? It just never stops. That's really a metaphor for the whole human story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, New Testament's good news.
One of the things we're going to talk about is the way in which Christ fulfills promises,
Yeah.
right? And so I think it might be good to actually specifically focus on the covenants that God made with his people. So
Yeah.
we've got 5 covenants, depending
Yeah, it kind
on-
of depending on how you. Some would even say 7. It kind of depends how you divide them up.
So let's look at those covenants specifically, because we said earlier that God is going to enter into a covenantal relationship with really it's his people, but it's going to be humanity,
Yeah.
right? And he is going to fulfill all of the covenants that humanity can't really. And so let's go ahead. Let's start with Genesis 3:15. I think that's kind of debated. Is this a covenant or not? I always view it as a covenant because God is promising to do something that we can't do.
I think you and I are similar, that covenants in the most technical sense, I guess, are, but that's the point that you're making, and rightly so. They involve two parties. Typically, earthly covenants involve two parties' duties and obligations.
Yep.
And the one time you see that, if you do this, I'm getting ahead of myself. When you get to the Moses era.
Yep.
But keep going, dude.
Yeah, so let's start there. Genesis 3:15, Jesus' fulfillment of this covenant,
Yeah.
right? Okay, here is the seed of the woman,
Yeah.
right? Jesus, this is the seed of the woman. He's going to crush the head of the serpent, right?
Yep.
Now, we don't get that story until the cross,
Yep.
but it's important to understand that Jesus fulfilling all of these things it's his lifetime achievement, right? We talk
Yes.
about a lifetime achievement award.
Yep.
Jesus' lifetime achievement award is the fulfillment of that promise that we see all the way back in Genesis 3:15. His death on the cross ensures the crushing of the serpent's head,
Yes.
right? And we see that coming out because what did that do? He literally takes the keys of sin and death from Satan
Yep.
and claims ownership, right? I mean, it sounds funny to say, right? Because, well, God is sovereign. He owns all things. But we also need to understand in the sovereignty of God in his universe that there have been powers and authorities that have been given to other beings. And Satan, for a while, was given temporary power and authority over sin and death.
Yep.
Right? And Christ comes in and says, no. I actually hold the power.
Right.
You don't. Right? And
Right.
and it's in that victory where Christ is going to receive a mortal wound. He dies on the cross, but he comes back and crushes his enemy.
Yeah.
Right? And we will ultimately see the full to go back to consummation, right? The full consummation of that at the end of all things, where Satan will fully and finally be destroyed. But Satan holds no authority any longer over anything.
Oh, yeah.
And so, talking about that. So we have our first covenant, right? If we were going to call it an official name, would be the Adamic covenant. And so we see Christ as the new Adam.
Yeah, which I think, dude, is really spelled at the end of that in Genesis 3, right? Which I think was your first point. You could consider that kind of the culmination of what we would call the Adamic, meaning from Adam, covenant, right? Yeah, he's the new one.
Yeah.
That's how he fulfills it. Adam was given the responsibilities that we should have had collectively as human. Does not do them.
Yeah.
That's the key. Fails to do them.
Yep.
We need a new one.
talk to us about the Noahic covenant. It's kind of a weird word, right?
Yeah, from Noah.
Yep.
Noah, I mean, specifically, the promise is very particular. It's not to destroy the world again with a flood.
Yeah.
If we want to focus on promise. But obviously, in what way is Jesus? Well, he's not connected to that. Well, he is. Actually, 1 Peter features Jesus as the ark in which we are safe.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the type. Noah's ark and the flood experience is foreshadowing the ultimate rescue
Yep.
of God's people from the waters of judgment, really, eternal, endless judgment. So it's not just like a second chance. It's like, no, he's going to
Right.
bring us, transform us into a new creation. So I think, if we talk about the Noahic covenant, that's why I said I think we're going to go through, it looks like 6.
Yep.
And you could count 7 depending on where you divide up either the Mosaic covenant or the Abrahamic covenant. But
Sure.
well, let's keep going. This is good.
Yeah.
This is a great way to summarize our view of what Jesus does in the New Testament
Yeah.
in connection to the Old.
Yeah. So next we come to the Abrahamic covenant, which we've mentioned and talked about, right?
Yeah.
That through Abraham, God is going to make him into a great nation,
Yep.
and through that nation, all the families of the world will be blessed.
Yes.
Right? Well, ultimately, we see that they can't do it, right? And
Yep.
that's where we find the end of the story in the Old Testament. They're in crisis. So we see that Christ is ultimately going to draw all people to himself, that it's going to be, when I'm lifted up,
Yep.
I will draw all people to myself, in reference to the cross, right? When I'm placed on the cross, all people will be drawn to me. And we see the fulfillment of that in Revelation, where people from every tribe, every tongue will bow before Christ.
Absolutely, dude. And I think the little teasing of a child that's going to be born, very meaningful to me, because the name of Abraham and Sarah's son would be Isaac.
Yep.
It was what I would call a supernaturally assisted
Yes.
experience, right?
Yeah.
To distinguish it from Mary's pregnancy.
Right.
There was no human agency.
Right.
Joseph was not involved,
Yep.
as Abraham would have been. So, but what you see is Isaac is almost a type himself. He means laughter. That's why they call him laughter. Sarah laughed. God says, "No, I'm going to get the last laugh. You're going to call this kid to remind you forever
Yep.
that you laughed." It's kind of an interesting play on a Hebrew idiom, but it's all just a hint
Yes.
of the true descendant.
Yep.
Which is not Isaac. You need Isaac to get there,
Yeah.
right? And Jacob, and all the way down through the lineage of Israel, through all their descendants. But he's the true descendant. So that's how I'd say he fulfills the Abrahamic covenant.
Yep. And then I'll let you take next.
Yeah, next is typically Mosaic, and this is where you get into where I think people really sometimes fall on this because, well, doesn't the Old Testament teach salvation by works? Nope, it does not.
Yeah.
If anything, it shows the very opposite. The Mosaic covenant are the specific commands and the sacrificial system. That's the hint. The fact that there was a sacrificial system at the same time that those commands, moral, civil, and ceremonial, were given, is the tell.
Yeah.
What's the tell? But they won't keep them.
Yeah.
You don't need sacrifices if you keep all of God's commands. You're perfect. So in a sense, that's the heart of the Mosaic covenant. Israel is assembled, do these things,
Yep.
and practice these sacrifices. Do these things. And it's true, ostensibly, if they had done them perfectly, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
But they're from birth, their inclination is to go the other way. They never do them perfectly. The sacrificial system is a symbol. You need divine cleansing.
Yep.
So Jesus is the fulfillment of both. It's what we typically say are the two things we need. This is the connection. Jesus fulfills the law that Israel drops the ball and they don't fulfill.
Yep.
He fulfills it perfectly. And he pays the sacrificial penalty for breaking it by becoming the perfect sacrifice.
Yeah.
So that's how, when we read the Gospels in the New Testament, I know we're spending most of our time on Christ. We'll say a few words about church and consummation, I'm sure, too. But
Yeah.
I mean, unashamedly.
Right.
This is it.
This is where it starts.
This
the reason
is
we
the
have
chapter.
Christ
Yeah.
and consummation.
It's what it's all been pointing to, and from here it all overflows from him.
Yep.
So while he's the 7th on the list of 9, this is the chapter.
Yeah.
In fact, when I've featured this before in some teaching materials, I always distinguish it, make it a bolder font,
Yep.
bigger font, so it's kind of clear. But that's how he fulfills the Mosaic covenant.
Yeah.
By keeping the law that we can't and paying the penalty
Yeah.
that the sacrifices suggest.
Well, and then we run into the Davidic covenant from David, right? And this is the promise that we have. Nathan comes to David to assure him, right?
It's always
that-
got to be a Nathan.
That's right. It's always a Nathan.
Yes.
That David will have a descendant
Yes.
whose kingdom will be forever.
Oh,
right?
it must be Solomon.
Right.
Oh, wait, it's not?
It's not.
It must be one of the later guys, like Josiah, one of those guys.
Right.
Yeah.
What I find so interesting is God is not about the king, right? That's not what God's about. He makes that very clear. He doesn't
Yes.
want Israel to have a king.
Right.
He wants to be their king.
Yep.
Right. And again, this goes to, don't you just love God's sense of humor? It's
Yeah.
like, we want a king. It's like, okay, fine. I'm going to be your king. No. We want an earthly
You
king.
want earthly king.
Okay, fine. I'll give you an earthly king, but guess what? It's going to be me still.
Yeah.
And this is, this is what it is the concern of the kings of the day, right? That is the human condition, right?
Yep.
The human power, right? Is the power going to die with me?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we see that even in David, the man after God's own heart, right? There is concern.
Yep.
What happens when I die? Is the power going to die with me?
Yeah.
And we see God interacting through the prophet Nathan to assure David, you are going to have a descendant whose reign will never end.
And think, dude, let's couple that with Dave Shive's podcast on David.
Yeah.
How important that is now. And again, if you haven't listened, I hope you will. I think it'll be well worth your time.
Yeah.
But I remember one of the things Dave Shive said about David was, you see his family falling apart.
Yeah.
And I remember Dave said in the podcast, and it really struck with me, he goes, and David seems completely incapable of doing anything to stop it.
Yeah.
And that's so true.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Absalom, and what happens to Tamar, his daughter, nothing
Yeah.
stops this just heartbreaking, disintegrating. So how timely of Nathan, the prophet, if you see what's coming and he gets a taste of it in his life, and David, he doesn't end well. It just ends pitifully. I mean, his house is in shambles. So how important does that prophecy of Nathan,
Yeah.
that there will be a descendant that sits on your throne forever,
Yeah.
forever,
Yeah.
which is going to inform the book of Daniel,
Yep.
the kingdoms. There's 4 kingdoms and the statue, and but a meteor type picture.
Yeah.
The stone from heaven comes, crushes the statue, and that stone becomes the 5th and final,
Yep.
never fading king. It's the Messiah's kingdom.
Yep.
It's exhilarating when you think about it.
Yeah.
And you see Christ fulfilling that
Yeah.
in the New Testament.
And again, it shows what Israel could and should have been, right?
Yes.
That they were to be the focal point to which the gospel, right? I mean, they didn't know it at the gospel at the time. But
Yes.
to which the gospel would go out into the world, right? This news about Yahweh, about the one true God
Mm-hmm.
of the universe. That was supposed to be them, right? That was supposed to be what
Yes.
David was supposed to be building up to.
Yep.
And it all falls apart. But again, because God is in covenant, God invites us in covenant with him, but he is ultimately the covenant holder and keeper.
Yes, always.
That David, your life is a wreck. It's a mess. You're not going to end well, but guess what? I'm faithful to my promise. And despite what you are seeing now and experiencing now, I'm going to promise you that one day there is going to come one whose kingdom will never end, and he's going to come from you. So the legacy that you start, right? And this is where God is just so cool inviting us in, right? The legacy that you are invited into, right? The legacy that you've started here and now, it will continue.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. All of grace.
Yeah.
Always is.
And we get to the final covenant, which to me, this is the most important one, right?
It's the clearest, basically telling us in plain, bold terms, it's coming.
Yeah. And so I'll go ahead and we have
we would call it the new covenant.
Yeah.
We would call it that promise that is reflected in passages like Jeremiah 31 through 34. A new covenant says, I will make with them that will be different than the old.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's the idea of writing on the hearts of men and women what the stone tablets wrote. So I think it's Piper I'm stealing this from. He said, in the Old Testament, the goodness of God, all of it is there. Mm-hmm. It's envisioned as a demand from without.
Yep.
Because we can't meet it.
Yep.
In the new covenant, it will not be like that. And it's this inner transformation focus that it's going to now be a desire from within.
Yeah.
So you move from a demand from without to a desire from within, and we experience it.
Yeah.
I want to serve God.
Yeah.
I want to obey God. He's captured my heart. What through what law and code? No law and code.
Right.
Through transforming my heart. Now, I think this is always what's been done in the background with all the saints.
Yeah.
But now it's like, again, the spotlight is on it.
Yep.
And when you think about it, this is what we see in passages like Hebrews 8. You could look at Luke 22. Jesus inaugurates this covenant. He specifically refers to the new covenant at the Last Supper.
Yeah.
This new covenant in my blood. It's what he opens up in us, to us, for us when he goes to the cross, dies for us, and makes us the sons and daughters of God.
Yeah.
It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. And again, really, right, we could end there.
Yeah.
We're not going to because we have two more that we're going to go through. Yep. But to your point, right, those two come from this one.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Because without Christ, right, and this is why I say the new covenant to me is really the most important one, because the question now remains, okay, God, Israel as your people, as your chosen nation, they're failing time and time and time and time again. How's it going to stop?
Yeah.
Right? How's it going to stop? Oh, well, I'm going to put it in your hearts. And
right.
And really what we're going to find out in church is he's going to create a new nation.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And that's really an incredible shift.
Yeah.
Dude, we've talked about this before. Let's talk about the church.
Yeah.
Technically, we see it in the book of Acts.
Yep.
In its kind of formal assembly. Jesus is gone. He's only in Acts 1.
Yeah.
And he ascends into heaven, which is interesting because Luke gives us an ascension in Luke 24.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like he goes back, tells us the story again with more detail.
Yeah.
Starts, because I think with many scholars, Luke was writing a 3-volume history of Christian beginnings.
Yep.
Because it ends abruptly in Acts, kind of like, oh, wow, what's going to happen in season 3? I think my personal view, I can't prove it, I'm pretty convinced there was supposed to be a 3rd volume.
Yep.
Because it ends with Paul on house arrest. We don't get his death. It's done.
Yep.
And I think Luke intended to write a 3rd that is just never done, or it obviously wasn't the Lord's intention because he gave us what we needed. But the book of Acts, to me, its most clear beginning. In Acts 1, there's Jesus comforting the disciples. They're waiting for the Holy Spirit. They seem rather tepid, nervous. They're sure they don't want the Lord to leave. He ascends. The angel says, fear not. The same Jesus who you saw, he's going to come back. That's a revelation.
Yep.
Which we'll get to in a couple weeks. So what about in the meantime? Well, the Holy Spirit's going to come upon them. The book of Acts is really, in many ways, the 5th gospel. Mm-hmm. But now we're following Jesus in and through the church that he is inhabiting and using. And I think to prove that that's not hyperbole is the conversion story of its main earthly character.
Yeah.
Who you think is going to be Peter.
Right.
But he throws you off. It's like the Psycho movement. Janet Leigh is killed off early, and I'm forgetting the other actress, who is kind of the mainstay for the rest of the film. Anyway, I shouldn't have done movies again. Look what happened to me, dude. But you've got in Paul's conversion, in Acts chapter 9, to me, proof positive that Luke knows exactly what he's doing.
Yep.
We're going to continue to see what Jesus does in and through the church he inhabits, this new people of God, which includes Israel,
Yep.
because you've got many the founding, but it also includes non-Israel.
Yeah.
This wonderful, beautiful entity called the church,
Yeah.
the assembly, the gathering. And when Paul is on his way to Damascus to arrest Christians, have them imprisoned, and I'm sure hopefully put to death for his grand ambition, Jesus stops him.
Yep.
He's it's always portrayed as a horse. Doesn't say he was riding a horse.
Yep.
But he falls to the ground. As we'll learn, he's blinded. But before he sees a vision of the risen Jesus and he hears his voice, Saul, Saul, why do you, the old King James, kick against the goads? Why are you going up, swimming upstream? What are you doing? And he says, who are you, Lord? I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting.
Yeah.
He doesn't say you're persecuting my people.
Yeah.
You're persecuting me directly.
Yeah.
Dude, isn't that if there's not a clear example that Jesus identifies
Yeah.
with the church that he inhabits,
Yep.
that the attacks on individual Christians who have come to follow him
Yeah.
are being taken by Jesus personally, because we are his body. We are in him. So that's really the church. So that's covered in the book of Acts.
Yep.
The story of how the gospel concentric circle spreads. Jerusalem, kind of ground zero. Outer circle, Judea, it's like the region. Samaria, we're getting into the Gentile territory to the north, to the ends of the earth.
Yep.
Probably for Luke's purposes, that's when the gospel gets to the capital city of Rome,
Yep.
which is the biggest deal.
Yep.
It is the city far across the sea that the gospel is going to go to. It's really just what Jesus is doing through imperfect people
Yeah.
to continue to teach and do. And that's how Luke starts the book. That's the other thing I didn't mention.
Yeah.
In my former book, Theophilus,
Yes.
I wrote of all that Jesus began to do and to
Yes.
teach. I should have started there. Implication being,
Right.
in this book, I'm going to do what? What he continued to do.
Yeah.
And you get the proof positive of that in what he tells Saul.
Yeah.
Oh, I love how tight that is.
Yeah.
And then you've got the letters.
Yep.
Dude, I know we'll spend some time on those
Yep.
in the coming weeks. But the letters are basically, hey, church, this is what it means to live in light of who you are in Christ, in light of what Jesus has done for you.
Yeah.
And that covers everything, dude, from faith and prayer to evangelism to sexual ethics to marriage and children and money. It's like all of life.
Well, and really it's necessary because again, you have Jews and Gentiles coming in, right? And lest we think the Jews had it all together and they're just coming into a new phase. No, we got to remember for hundreds of years they're being corrupted by Pharisaical teachings, right? Paul himself, a Pharisee, was corrupted by Pharisaical teachings, right? I mean, he's out literally, violating one of the 10 commandments, right? He's out murdering people.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, right? The Jew and Gentile is in peril. They don't understand what it is to live in light of Jesus.
Yes.
The Jews have basically forgotten and twisted the word of God, and the Gentiles, for the most part, have never heard of it.
Yes.
And so now comes the instruction. Okay, in light of the God of the universe who created all things and came down in human form, let's talk about the way that we should be living, the way that we should be treating one another, right? So our society, we marginalize women and children.
Yep.
No. In God's kingdom, we don't do that. The least shall be great and the great shall be least, right? You hold and keep slaves. No. In God's kingdom, we're all equal.
Yes.
There is no one who is greater than another, right? And so we start seeing that, oh, wait a minute. So the way that I thought I could live and should live, the God of the universe has a different expectation on my life.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Counterintuitive.
Yeah.
From what we've always, what would we expect?
Yeah.
New heart, new mind.
Yep.
It's going to be different. And we've got all that beautiful instruction.
Yeah.
Which is not how to get right with God.
Right.
It's in light of that. It's the Francis Schaeffer title, right?
Yeah.
How did he phrase
How
it?
should we then live?
Yeah, how should we then live?
Yep.
It's that in light of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's that good for church? I mean, there's
Yeah.
so much more we could say.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, but I think we'll touch on more of those things as we dive
particularly
deeper.
as we look at books.
So then
And then be consummation,
Yeah.
which we don't have to say as much about that either because
Yeah.
we wanted to make it mainly about Christ today, obviously, and every day. But you know what I mean for
Yeah.
the purpose of this. But consummation is what we're back, and we'll look at that in depth. And when we consider the complexity of the book of Revelation,
Yep.
sometimes in the complexity, the simplicity of the fact that we're back. God wants
Yeah.
us in community.
Yeah.
That's what we get
Yeah.
in Revelation, particularly when we see the vision at the end.
Yeah.
And I will be their God. They shall be my people. We
Yeah.
will dwell forevermore. Don't need a temple. He is the light. It's just incredible. We're in his presence.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, the pleasure, the joy, the fulfillment. These are all the things that we've sought in every other thing and never quite gotten.
Yeah.
And it's there.
Well, and really, when we talk about that idea, right? When you look at a story, right? All stories are going to have all good stories are going to have a good, satisfying ending to
Yes.
them, right? And
Yeah.
so when we look at the issue, that means that the issues are going to be resolved, right?
Yep.
And so what is the issue that we find? God was in community, and out of an outflow of the love and community he has within himself, he shares that community with his creation.
Yes.
Right? That is now in jeopardy.
Yes.
Right. And so from that point, everything starts going wrong. And so the consummation, to go to your point, right, is really the community fulfillment.
Yes.
It is the resolution of the story that we've seen throughout history, where the thing that was wrong, the thing that went awry, the thing that crashed, that is now going to be fixed and restored and put back on track.
Yes. Yeah, dude. And what it's just marvelous. You're back.
Yeah.
Like the story, and to almost what I don't like about saying full circle, it's better than what we saw in the garden.
Yeah.
We talked about that, the probationary period.
Yeah.
And I think we might revisit it in Revelation again.
Yep.
Of the Garden of Eve. I think that they would have entered a state like we see at the end of Revelation.
Yeah.
Had they passed the test. There's reasons for that. We see a beautiful, sinless state, but I do think it was probationary.
Yeah.
And that test was intentional. And they failed.
Yes.
And Israel failed. And we're doomed. Oh, and then God says, no, you're not going to be doomed.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to fix it. Jesus. Christ, church, consummation. Oh!
Dude.
We did it!
So good.
Grace of God, dude. Grace of God.
So good. All right. Well, we are,
Fun.
we're out for this one, but hey, we still have 3 more weeks. Again,
Excited.
we have Revelation coming up at the end of the month that I'm really looking forward to talking about that one.
And dude, if you need me for that one,
Right.
for the 100th time, I'll be upstairs in my room asleep.
That's right. That's right.
Dude, let me know how that Revelation one goes.
I'm just going to chat GPT it.
Good. Good. Can you chat GPT the email responses?
That's right.
Good. No, I'm looking forward to that. I think we're going to have a good conversation.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Until the next time, we just rock the Casbah. Thank you again for listening to These Go to 11, an unchurchy conversation about everyday faith. Once again, please make sure you like, subscribe, and review on your favorite podcast platform. And if you ever find yourself in the Forest Hill, Maryland area, please feel free to stop by at 135 Industry Lane, and you can get all of our service times and information at christfc.org.
These go to 11.